This wife was enjoying the morning sun when she asked her husband to lie down beside her and relax, but he insisted on going into the sea for a swim. At first, she wasn't concerned, but when she woke up from a nap, she realized 3 hours had already passed and her husband had simply vanished. Desperate, the wife asked a couple of tourists if they had seen her husband nearby, but the answer was negative. His phone had also disappeared. She tried calling several times, but no one answered. With a tightness in her chest, she ran to the beach and pleaded for help from the rescue team, showing them his photo. The search began immediately. Hours went by, yet no trace of him was found. With no other choice, the wife went to the police. To her shock, the officer laughed at her story. Those waters were calm and shallow, and there had never been any record of drownings. Even if something had happened, a body would have already surfaced, he said. Dismissing her concern. Back at the hotel, the wife answered the phone, hoping to hear her husband's voice, but it was only a telemarketing call. Sadness consumed her. They were there to celebrate their 5-year wedding anniversary, and now her husband had disappeared without a trace. In the following days, she returned to the same spot on the beach, praying for a miracle. Time went on, and 6 months later, still with no answers, she had to return to her teaching duties at the university. That's when she met a new student. She immediately recognized him as the young lifeguard who had helped in the search. The student explained that he had worked on the island during the summer, but was now there to study. Over time, the student grew closer, creating opportunities to talk, share meals, and even invited her to a concert. The wife noticed his interest, but made it clear she was still married and believed her husband was still alive. Then, on a lonely night, while rewatching old videos, she noticed something disturbing. A woman in a red dress kept appearing next to her husband in several recordings, always far too close. The looks they exchanged weren't normal. She worked at his company, but the wife had never heard her name before. Intrigued, she showed the footage to a friend who had also been at the party. The friend confirmed that the two had arrived together in the same car, but insisted she hadn't noticed anything romantic. She tried to reassure her, saying they were just colleagues. The wife pretended to agree, but her intuition told her otherwise. Days later, the police called her to identify a body found in the sea. Her heart nearly stopped, but when the sheet was lifted, it wasn't her beloved husband. The investigator, however, suggested another possibility. Maybe he hadn't disappeared at all, but had run away with a lover. Such cases had happened before. The wife refused to believe it. She was certain of the love they shared, but at night, alone, doubt gnawed at her mind. She went back to her husband's computer and began analyzing every photo. In many of them, the same mysterious woman was there, but the more she looked, the stranger it became, and soon, she realized something far darker.